Hello, you're watching Robin's TV Extra Time. Settle down with that big plate of mince pies to enjoy the next few minutes of analysis of Bristol City versus Luton Town. Joining me in the studio to look back at the game are two legends of Bristol City, Alex Russell and Lewis Carey, alongside me as well. Boys, Bristol City victorious. Might not be a vintage performance, but 3 points nonetheless. What did we make of it? Alex, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it was a sort of tough game in a sense. There wasn't lots of chances, but I thought the back three for Bristol City defended really well. They looked pretty solid the whole game. The two lads in front worked really hard, and the lads in the second half, I thought up front were a bit more of a threat, and we had a few chances, and obviously it ended up with the goal, which was a great strike. Yeah,
I mean, Lewis, aside from the goal, it really was a defender's game, wasn't it, to be honest? City were looking resolute at the back. Luton didn't offer much going forward either. It was a game for defenders almost.
Very much so, but Bristol City started the game really well, and for 60 minutes sort of dominated possession with their little 3-2 build to get the wing-backs high up the pitch. Didn't create loads of chances. That's why you need people like Scott Twine in the team who are going to create a bit of magic out of nothing. But I'm going to say Aggie because that's what we call him when we were playing. But Alex is spot on. The back three were outstanding all game, and then also the subs. They came on and made a big impact and ran in behind it, pushed the Luton back lads back and created more opportunities to put balls in the box, crosses and so on, and create chances. However, the game sort of changed once we had the offside goal that didn't count.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, the stats tell their own story. We can have a look at those now. And Luton have managed to outdo City in quite a few metrics here, including possession and expected goals. Does that come as a surprise to either of you?
Yeah, I think watching the game, live, I wouldn't have thought, especially their expected goals. I thought we defended really well. They had their big chance was the last minute, when the ball's come across and Max made a reasonable save. But really the lad should have buried it or given Max less chance actually to make the save. But I thought City, there wasn't loads of chances, but the best chances I would have thought fell to us.
Yeah, and Lewis, City, again, like Alex says, haven't necessarily won the top two battles, but the total shots shows there was a certain domination to City going forward. They've beaten them there, and the shots on target as well.
Yeah, and it was a variety of shots, wasn't it? Quite a few shots from outside the box. It was just no clear-cut chances. I think the best chance, in all fairness, was the one that when Sam Bell was offside. It was a really well-worked opportunity, and just not enough shots on target. We said not enough effort, so that's why. We're talking about the defenders, so we'll take all the positives out of the game at the minute. That's the bit at the top, it's the clean sheet. Defenders doing well, Max making a brilliant save at the end, subs making an impact. So I think we'll take all the positive out of the game rather than the excitement of chances.
And as they've tended to do recently at home, Bristol City, they started the game well, as we're going to have a look at now. Some really nice build-up play involving Max Bird, Scott Twine, Fally Miulu, just missing a clinical edge perhaps.
Yeah, so we said they played with the wing backs, and it was to obviously try and create the width, try and get more numbers up the pitch, and put crosses in the box and stress the opposition. So any little bit of play here where it was wide to separate the back five of Luton, and then for lads to play little giving goes or create opportunities like here for Miulu just to create something himself. They drop off, and it's a lovely strike on target, and it was a really positive start.
Some decent crosses into the box here as well, Alex. Were you impressed with the way City approached the game against a team in Luton who maybe haven't had the best of form? They really tried to take the sword to them a little bit.
Yeah, they did. They were positive whenever they won the ball. They seemed to, because they had the narrow front three, they seemed to want to play into the three of them even, and then get runners off them. So they weren't shy of going forward, especially early on. Like you say, the first 15-20 minutes they had a real good go, and the only thing I saw from up on the gantry was it was quite narrow in the attack. So when we played in, we didn't, because it was quite quick as well. When we played forward, the wing backs didn't quite have the chance to get up, and then we sort of a second phase and get round the back of them. But they looked lively, and they were working hard and trying to create things, and I thought they did well. First 15-20 minutes, they're the better team.
A player that stood out for us today, I'd love to ask you about him as a fellow midfielder, Max Bird. he seemed to be absolutely everywhere today. Long passes, short passes, winning the ball back as well. Were you impressed with what you saw today?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lovely left foot. He hit a couple of diags that were just on the button, and then in the second half he played the pass of the game for me when he played in I don't know who was the lad who got fouled. Was it
Twine for the penalty?
Twine, yeah. And he could have had a penalty, and it was a good bit of vision, a great little bit of play. I mean, you see here he's got his head up before he receives the ball, so he knows where he wants to play it before he's even got it. That was a great ball out to the wing back. And to be fair, he got his foot in as well, and was clever. This is a pass. I mean, a great ball. He's opened up with his left foot, but all the time he's actually watching the movement. Look, he's got his head up, so yeah, it's just a superb ball. I would have been shouting for a penalty. Well, I was actually. I thought it was a penalty.
And Lewis, I mean, you know, Max Bird, he's still so young, but today really felt like a game that he took it by the scruff of the neck and thought, I'm going to try and get City on the front foot here and win this game. Yeah,
I know we've had many discussions in the studio off air about him. I think he's a super talented player, because for me, it reminds me actually a little bit of Aggie when he used to play, with regards to he's always looking to play forward. He's not one of them who just lends the ball all the time and always plays backwards or into out passes. He'll always have an open stance to play forward, to make something happen, or to get forward runners on the ball. And that's why we were saying during the first half, that's why if Bristol City have more forward runners, he could have a lot more assists. But yeah, always eyes up, looking for those little runs, and got the ability to play it. And technically, I think he's outstanding.
Now
you could see that. You could see it with the pass at the end, because he actually was in quite a tight situation as the ball got played to him. But because he's playing with his head up, he can see all the runners. So the lads playing with him, they probably, the more attacking players, need to make runs. I mean, Scotty Murray was one of the best, but it was easy sometimes to play him because he made it so obvious with his runs, and he would, diagonal runs behind fullbacks, and he probably needs a couple of lads, doing that bit, maybe just getting used to him and know that he actually can put it where he wants to. So make the runs, and I'm sure he'll find them. Yeah, I mean, well, that's absolutely right. We're going to move on to a Christmas cracker now. It was described by Scott Twine. Alex, what technique is required for this to find the back of the net? Well, I think we were just saying just before, it's actually his first touch. He takes it with his left foot and then moves it back onto the right, and the whole defence sort of shifts. There's a great big play again here on the left by, that's Bird again. Great run in, and he just moves it back onto his right, and I mean, his technique's superb, and he puts it in the top corner. But it's just his little shift from his left foot to his right, and people I don't think maybe understand that creates all the space. It looks like he's going to open out there, and he goes back the other way, and then that's a great strike.
Yeah, I love Hirakawa's run. You see him out the picture there. It opens up the space, separates the centre backs, and it allows Twine with his intelligence. You see the run there opens up. Another run from Bird as well does the same, and Twine with his ability, little touch, little shift, opens up the space, and yeah, it's an excellent strike. It was brilliant. Another individual I want to pick out today as well is Sam Bell, who's obviously just he's picking up his minutes really after being injured for quite a while. He seemed to do really well today. When he came on at half time, he just added a little bit of something to Bristol City's attack, didn't he? It was really impressive, and nearly found a goal today as well, but he was offside. I was impressed straight away when he came on. He started running in behind. He started buzzing around the two centre halves, and all of a sudden he's just gonna. Yeah, he just needs to hold his run a little bit there, and he's looking right along the line. He's actually just ahead of the ball, and that's his problem. He's not sure. But we're talking at half time, aren't we, about how we're going to score goals, how we're going to create chances, and we're saying about we need Maelu and these forward players to run in behind. Well, straight from kick-off, the ball comes wide to Pring, Bell runs in behind. Ball gets transferred the other side, Bird picks the ball up. Hirakawa runs in behind. All of a sudden, the energy changed, but it was Bell's energy that creates that. And that instance there, again, excellent double movement for Hirakawa, and Bell should never be offside because there's so much space in front of him. However, I just love the fact that his intent to go and score was there, and then at the very end, he did show what an excellent finisher he is as well. And does this actually throw a question mark out there that
perhaps Sam Bell is ready to lead that line. He's done really well in one half of football. Is there a claim for him to maybe lead the line in the next game against Portsmouth?
Well, I'm sure he'd be probably knocking on the gaffer's door and asking if he can play more minutes. But when he came on, he definitely gave a little bit of energy, and the three of them then all of a sudden seemed to link and move positions a little bit better. And he just was a little bit of a handful. He won a few headers. He's not obviously the biggest lad, but because he was on the run and the balls drop a bit short, he was getting a touch, and he just livened the whole front line up a little bit, and he looked dangerous the whole half really. And I was a bit upset when he was offside, because just as the ball broke to the right winger, the Hirakara, when it broke to him, you could see just hold your run, because he was just ahead of the ball. And obviously once he's played it first time, which was the right thing to do, but it was a lovely finish, but it was just a shame it just gone too early.
Excitement of being back involved, eh?
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, he probably got just a little bit ahead of himself, and was so desperate to score that goal when you come on, because he'll know as well that if he gets a goal when he comes on after 45 minutes, he's probably named straight on the team sheet next week. So, but he definitely did. But I'm sure the manager will be happy with his performance second half.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look then at what this game was won on, and it was built on a foundation of solid defence, wasn't it? I mean, if we're honest, Luton were very one-dimensional in their attack. I mean, me and Lewis were talking about this in the studio during the game. It seemed to be a little bit easy in the first half, but they threw everything at us in the second too. So we'll have a look at sort of a compilation of Luton's attacks here.
Yeah, so even in the first half, I just felt like a lot of balls come in the box. It's like it's just a cross to hope someone's going to get on the end of it. Chong does really well here in this instance to keep the ball alive, but it was the only way that Luton were going to score, and it was like, we'll put the ball in the area and we'll hope a Luton player gets on the end of it. It's just second half, as the game evolved, once City scored, and it wasn't like they sat off, but Luton's possession upped because they started dominating the ball. And in these sort of instances now, we didn't quite get there to block crosses, so as you see, there's more space for everybody all the time. So whenever they came back out and went to cross the ball, they'd cross it into areas, or they could pick a teammate out, whereas in the first half that wasn't the case so much. But the back three were outstanding, and along with the back three, anytime they were man marking, Max would come in punch or claim. So from the back three and the goalkeeper, it was an excellent performance.
Yeah, that last one, Chong did great on the wing and good cross in, but the centre half actually there when he's making the challenge, so he didn't even give him a free header. It ended off coming off the top of the head.
This must be a proud moment for you, Alex. You've known Max a long time. Seeing him produce a save like that in the last seconds is...
Yeah, when it fell to him, I actually thought that was it. I thought he's going to score. And the lads whipped it quite nice, but it's a decent height for Max. And also, I think Max has started to go that way, and he's made it look easy in the end, because he sort of read where he was going to play it. But when it happened live, I thought it was going to be equalised, which I didn't think they really deserved.
Well, it was a big occasion, and we said it was going to be a big game for Bristol City. They've passed the test, if you like. 3 or 4 more games to go in this festive chunk, if you like, and the win just sets them up nicely for the next few games, doesn't it?
Very much so. And Luton, they have a poor away record. We're aware of that. But to keep a clean sheet in the Championship's a tough gig and a tough thing to do. And they've done it today, and we've been crying out for a clean sheet. They've done it. They've got the 3 points, and the confidence now moving into games with teams in and around or below us is going to be huge moving forward.
And Alex, Portsmouth up next. We don't have to think back too far really to the last time we played Portsmouth. They beat us 4-0 at Fratton Park, of course. How much will that play an impact in the players' minds in a positive sense of going, we've got to get our revenge a little bit here?
I think you don't really think about the last game against the team that you're playing. It's more the game you've just played. So I think today they'll take a lot out of this game and this performance, and they'll build on that. I'm sure in 3 or 4 days' time when they play again, they might have to rest people, but it's all about the squad game. And I was, like Lewis said, I thought the subs who came on all made a bit of an impact, and it showed that they had a bit of depth on the bench, and they weren't just bringing on young lads. They were able to bring good players on who made a difference. So I'm sure he'll mix it again, maybe for the next game against Portsmouth. But I don't think the players will worry about the last time they played them. I think they'll be more worried about getting a run together now and getting another result.
Well, gents, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both in the studio together to look back at this game for us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers.
And that's going to do it for us here on Extra Time. Our next game is just in 3 days time against Portsmouth, of course, here at Ashton Gate. Bristol City taking on Portsmouth. We will see you then.